What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. They say that MTV does not cater to the musical audience anymore, and pretty much they're right. I can't tell you the last time that I turned on MTV and watched something. They recently revived Wild 'N Out, and that didn't do it. I liked Wild 'N Out when it first started. I would watch that. I have the first season on DVD, so that was like the last moment that I really remember tuning into MTV. Other than that, I would like online. I would tune into the site and they would produce like a video interview or something of that nature. But I would never actually go on the network. And maybe that's going to change this fall, this year, because they're reviving two of their biggest shows. The first one is MTV Unplugged. I don't have to talk about the importance of MTV Unplugged. It was a great series. It got a lot of artists, the chance to have this intimate concert, live performance vibe with a bunch of fans, and then, have it taped and shown to millions and millions across the world. It was a great series, and we haven't had one like it since it ended. So hearing that MTV is going to bring it back is good. And they've also said that they're going to kind of keep it the essence of what the series was, but they're also going to take a little bit of like what this generation is and kind of modernize it. And I'm guessing more along the lines of that has to deal with like social media. Social media plays a huge role as opposed to when Unplugged was around, in the 90s and even in the early 2000s. We didn't have Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat and all this stuff. So those kind of things got to come into play as well. And I'm interested to see what that actually entails. And the other series that they're bringing back, which is going to be completely social media, completely on a social media network, is MTV Cribs. There are so many classic moments from MTV Cribs. It was a good show because it stripped away the music and just showed you how some of your favorite artists were living. You got to see some of the stuff they had in their house and a little mix of comedy and things of that. I mean, remember the classic Redman episode when he was, his house was just terrible. Yeah, if you've never seen it, you got to go on YouTube and watch it. But MTV Cribs, the revival, is coming exclusively onto Snapchat, which is very interesting. Instead of going with the network route, I think Snapchat would be a nice idea, simply because it cuts a lot of production costs. The way I'm thinking about it is that instead of having like this big production, MTV actually coming to your house, it's gonna be done on the phone naturally, Snapchat. So that takes away like that big budget of needing like a big camera and all the editing and stuff of that nature. And I haven't logged into Snapchat in a long time, so excuse me if I'm not up to date with everything. But it being in like the MTV section, isn't Snapchat right now still has like the 10-second videos, right? So that kind of will play into a role. Like you'll get to see 10 seconds here, 10 seconds there. You probably come back and watch more later. It's very interesting of a concept. They're gonna have 3 artists that are starting the series in June: Mac Miller, Travis Mills, and Austin Mahone. And they're gonna do 1 episode a week. I have no idea like the time of an episode. Is it gonna be like a full episode, or like they had it before? They had it to 2 or 3 artists in 1 episode, but I don't know how it's gonna be structured or anything of that nature. I'm just as excited to see how it works and if it gets me to actually want to use Snapchat a little bit more, because I'd be interested to see some of these MTV Cribs, especially for this generation, see how everyone's living and see how they actually do it. There's 2 other shows that MTV is doing this year as well. Wonderland is going to be a show that will, and I'm quoting them, showcase the best in new music through live performances. Each week, 3 different acts will take the stage. Really a living, breathing space in Los Angeles, along with today's emerging talents in comedy. Developed in partnership with Comedy Central and hosted by musicians and comedians themselves, Wonderland is the first show of its kind that MTV has put on the air in nearly 2 decades. I think that's a really cool idea. It kind of reminds you of like a Total Request Live, but less of like playing music videos and more along the lines of just the performances. And it'll be cool to see like I'm sure it's not restricted to just hip hop. Obviously, you're gonna see all kinds of genres. So it'll be nice because you get to see like different artists, not just like the biggest names, but you'll get like smaller names. There's three different acts per thing, so and it's I think it's yeah it's coming weekly, so it'll be interesting to see like what artists get to play on it at what times. Obviously, sometimes you're gonna have artists like, if ASAP Ferg is dropping a new album, which he's already doing, but if the show was around now and ASAP Ferg was dropping an album, I could envision him being on, for that week. And just seeing the different talents week after week, I think if they mix it up and not just include like the biggest names of any genre, but also give a chance to some of the newer artists, some of the new emerging artists, not just any old artist, but someone that has a little bit of a following, give them that platform. That would be cool to see. And it kind of brings me to the other show that they're doing. There's no title for it, but essentially it's going to be a hip-hop music competition series. And the end game is to get new talent into the eyes of the industry's top dog. It says, I'm going to read it. The end game: getting tomorrow's top talent in front of the industry's top dogs and then getting them signed and into the recording studio. So basically, you have a competition and everyone's competing for that deal. And I just hope that the series has like an authenticity to it. I don't want to see just any old artist. I want the show to be about strictly the music. And I know it's kind of like a competition show. It's kind of like that, but in a sense, there's also like that popularity aspect to it. If you tune into social media and you got American Idol going on, like a little bit along the ways, you have popularity that kind of factors into certain things, whether the judges or fan vote, whatever. So I want to see if the show can really produce some actual stars. And it's a nice contrast to something like American Idol, where you've never had a rapper on American Idol, because that's not what the show's about. But we've never had a hip-hop show that's catering to this. But I think it'll go over well. I'm excited to see what MTV does this year. Hearing these 4 shows, 2 revivals and 2 new ones, I am going to tune in. I'm going to check them out at least, first episode or whatever. But I would love to know your thoughts. Is this enough for you to want to tune into MTV again? And if you haven't stopped and you still watch the reality shows, then obviously that doesn't apply to you. But if you have stopped watching MTV, is all this music related shows going to pull you back in? Let me know in the comment section below, and then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video, follow me on Twitter at @SermonsDomain, and as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching, and until next time, peace.